This is one of my favorite exercises, and also all my clients love it because it creates an instant magic. Are you ready for magic? So, how often do you experience neck tension, shoulder tension, and especially like in this occipital points at the two bony parts at the base of the skull? Like, have you experienced that tension? And that tension increases when you feel stressed, activated, dysregulated in your nervous system. And this tension often decreases, or even it gets gone when you go on a vacation. Have you experienced that? Well, then you absolutely love this exercise. This is what is called the basic exercise, and that comes from the book and also the study of Dr. Stanley Rosenberg and his book, Accessing the Healing Power of the Vagus Nerve. And he also tested this exercise with many of his patients. So, ready for the magic? Let's first do a quick test to see where you are in your sense of tension in the occipital points here at the base of your neck, at your C1, C2, C3, or just like that neck space. So let's turn our head to the right and just notice how far can you look back? What do you see? Notice your sense of tension. And then turn to your left. Notice what happens there. Come back to center. And then bring your ear to shoulder. Notice what happens here. And bring your other ear to shoulder. Notice what happens there. So, hopefully you notice your level of tension, maybe defined from 1 to 10. Notice your range of motion, how much you can see to the left, to the right. And just kind of overall state of being of your nervous system, like emotionally. How charged up are you right now? And then, ready for the miracle. So, you can do this exercise by lying down, especially if you're doing it first time. That is highly recommended, because what usually happens with this exercise, you actually create realignment in your head, and you may feel dizzy. So that's why it's recommended to do it lying down, but you can also do it seated. So we're gonna interlace the fingers, or just simply like have your one hand in front of the other, whatever works for you. And then bring your hands behind the back of your head, right at the base of your skull, where the neck meets, C1, C2. Also, if it's too much for your shoulders, you can bring your elbows in, or you can just use one hand. The exercise is still very effective with one hand, okay? And then from here, just kind of notice how that all feels. Already, I just like exhaled and it felt so delicious. And then I invite you, without moving your head, you're just gonna bring your gaze to the right. And you're allowed to blink. And we're just gonna stay there for about 30 seconds. So, but usually it goes from 30 to 60 seconds. You can either time yourself, or you can take this opportunity to connect with your body. And this is the bodily signs that we are looking for. So you may feel an urge to swallow more frequently. You may feel like this saliva building up. You may also feel that you want to yawn. You may just feel like this deeper sense of your breath, and especially your exhale. These are all signs that your vagus nerve is receiving this exercise, and it's creating physiological response for your shift in the nervous system, which is coming to your love and connection and state of regulation. Bring your gaze back to center and then relax your hands. And yes, we're gonna do it also on the other side. So the same idea. And we're gonna bring our gaze to the left. And just again, just allow yourself this time, this 30 seconds. Everything that we do with the nervous system and vagus nerve stimulation, it's not about making it harder or making it more. It's more about doing gentle, kind of doing less, but maybe frequently. Because essentially we are also shifting our state of nervous system. And then bring your gaze back to center, relax your hands. How do you feel? Maybe just take a moment here to notice your state of emotions, state of your charge, especially if you felt very charged before. You can even notice in my voice right now, my voice that I'm noticing is a little bit calmer, a little bit lower, a little bit slower. So, and if you've been through my program, you know that when a vagus nerve comes into play and we shift to the state of regulation, yes, our voice changes. So there is no surprise if you are experiencing the changes in your voice. And yes, are you ready to retest? So we're gonna turn to one side. Oh wow, I definitely feel way more range of motion. And usually it's my right side that reminds me that I am feeling activated or dysregulated. So that side feels pretty good. So then go to the left or whatever side you're doing. Come back to center. And then from here, bring your ear to shoulder. And another ear to shoulder. So let me know in the comments if you experience the magic of this exercise. I cannot tell you how many clients that have messaged me and said, oh, I canceled my appointment with a chiropractor. Oh, my massage appointment. No, they did not cancel that because massage still feels good. But they also did not experience that a lot of pain or side effect after working those muscles so hard. So you may be asking, why is it working and what does it have to do with the nervous system and the vagus nerve? Well, again, if you've been through my program or you're familiar with the vagus nerve, you know that it's one of the cranial nerves and it intervenes with other cranial nerves. And also with our eyes, they are actually a part of our neuroception system, which essentially detects danger. And our eyes are constantly orienting for threat, for danger. And nowadays we have that perceived danger, right? And why we're also experiencing that constant tension in our neck, head, and shoulder, it's because we are most likely in this chronic stress over stimulation, over activation. And it just builds up. And those muscles get tense. And essentially, those muscles mobilizes for that fight and flight. That's why the tension is there. And the blood flow is more restrictive to those muscles. And of course, it all adds to more tension and tightness in those muscles. So what we just did, we created a release of that bilateral stimulation, and our vagus nerve essentially received a signal that, oh, we are safe. And that's why in the book, he goes a little bit more into detail and more science and explanation of why we're moving our eyes side to side or bilaterally, and what also happens at the C1, C2. But that's essentially why it works, because there is a connection there. And also you might have noticed not only that you release the